Can you turn that down just a smidge?
Okay, hello there, Brad. I want to welcome everybody to our show this evening. I'm Carlos Millsap, and of course, you know my co-host here, my host here, the hostess with the mostest, Brad Stewart, my teammate, so on and
Hey,
so
everybody.
forth. How's everybody doing today? How you doing today, Brad?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Glad to be here, and just want to welcome everybody that's joining us, whether it be live stream here on Thursday, or if you're catching us on the flip flop at the on YouTube or Facebook. Glad to have you aboard. Welcome.
Glad to have you aboard. Yep. Well, I think that we've been talking about risk, and I think that it's a good topic that we're on right now because most people, when they're putting their money in these different retirement vehicles, especially a 401k, which is more than likely the most popular one, people don't have any idea or don't even think about risk. They might think about market risk because they may see a statement and they feel the pain, but they don't think about all the other things that might be associated with it. Right.
It's
What's your
true.
thoughts about that?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that we've covered a couple issues. We spoke earlier about just risk in general. We've talked about market risk. We've talked about the risk of what the taxes can do to you. Um, those are all things that can prevent you from maximizing your money, your numbers that you're saving. One of the big things that people, I think you and I can both agree on this, and many of you guys out there that are listening in never even consider is the whole concept of management fees and what's it cost you to do a 401k, for example. And I think that that's critical um, because there's a risk that's involved there that people don't even recognize. I mean, not a clue. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but maybe a little blunt.
Well,
If you
Brad,
don't know what your fees are, you need
you
to know.
ask people, Brad, when you ask people what are they paying as far as their fees are concerned on their tax qualified plan, what do they tell you?
One thing I can tell you right up front, what they don't tell me, they will never, and I say this exclusive to everybody, I don't believe I've ever had anybody tell me a percentage of what the fees are.
Right,
Typically, what
exactly.
I hear the number one answer, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or they'll say,
or
I'm
the
not
other
paying
one is,
any.
yeah, or that's the second answer. I don't pay fees with this. I mean, like these guys work for nothing, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah,
And that's I don't know too many people that work for nothing, especially in this day and age.
right,
Um, People are constantly finding ways to be able to make more money if they can do it, you know. And trust me, management fees are an example of trying to make more money.
right,
When it comes to, hey, they'll never see it, they'll never miss it, they won't even know it's gone. And I'm
right,
not trying to belittle or downplay um, some of the fine people that do management of retirement funds, in the securities market and stuff. But a lot of clients, and I would say the majority of them, are very uninformed and unknowing of what's going on in their accounts.
They really are. Really are. And you know what, Brad, especially in markets like this, markets that we've had for the last couple of years since the beginning of this pandemic, I can recall even in recent time and even in past years, how many times clients I talk to would say that I'll ask them, well, how is your retirement plan doing? Well, I don't know. How come you don't know? I'm afraid to look at the statement.
Ooh.
They know that there's some carnage there, and they think that by not looking at it, it's going to make things go away. Yeah, and so exactly.
I don't want to see it.
Absolutely.
Well, I think the other thing that I think is very telling too is the fact that the Department of Labor had a publication out on 401k plans and stuff, and I wanted to read this quote because I thought it was, again, very telling. The quote is, "More and more employees are investing in their futures through 401k plans. Employees who participate in 401k plans assume responsibility for their retirement income by contributing part of their salary and, in many instances, by directing their own investments." End quote. That scared the bejeebers out of me.
It is.
I knew it was true, but to see it in black and white in print, holy smokes. I mean, how many times have you met people, worked with people who are not a professional at managing their retirement accounts?
Right.
Let alone having a clue about how they worked.
Right. And to top it off is that they're managing their own their accounts. However, these brokerages still charging them for managing it as well. So it's crazy. So
it rests on the individual's shoulders, but the company gets paid to manage it.
Exactly. I have some slides here that you want me to put up.
Yep. Yeah, this is another telling thing, and when we talk about fees, I think it's important that you folks out there listening in, these fees are monies that come out of the balance of your account every year, and those fees could those fees can be investment fees, administrative fees, fiduciary and consulting fees. And they vary from plan to plan. How many people are involved in the plan? How big's the employer? What part of the plan? What company are they working with? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But typically, you're looking at fees in the 0.5% to 2%, again, based on the size of the plan and the company you're working with. But it came down to that the average annual fee charged by most funds is about 1%, and that was from the Center for American Progress. So when you add all this up, one of the things when you talk about risk, these slides and again, Carlos, thanks for putting this together. These slides that people need to see, this information is important because when we talk about risk of fees, take a look at this basic example. So put yourself in this frame. Assume that you're an employee, that you still have 35 years until your retirement. And you have a current 401k account balance of $25,000. Sounds reasonable with 35 years to go. Great start. Things are looking good. So if the return on investments in your account over the next 35 years average, and again, average, just averaging 7%, while the fees and expenses are going to reduce your average returns by 0.5%, 0.5%, your account balance will grow in 35 years to $227,000 at retirement, even if there are no further contributions added to your account. So again, get that picture. 7% average growth, fees and expense accounts of just 0.5%. At the end of 35 years, starting with that 25% nest egg that you started with, now you're sitting on $227,000. So your money's grown by $202,000 35 years later when you're getting ready to retire.
Right.
So, but if the fees and expenses are 1.5%, 1.5%, just to give you a bump, to give you an idea, your account balance will grow to only $163,000. The hard truth here is just 1% difference. 1%. Pretty innocuous, not a big number, but over 35 years, 1% difference in fees and expenses would reduce your account balance at retirement by 28%.
Wow, that's huge.
That's over a quarter of your total savings, just by one. And I hate to say measly percent, but it gives you a sense of what 1% over a long term can do to the hard-earned money that you set aside, the money that you put into your retirement, the money that you and your spouse or whoever, maybe you yourself, just as an individual, that you're going to live on for the rest of your life. I don't know of too many people who can live on $163,000 comfortably for the rest of your life, especially given the fact that most of us need to be thinking that we're going to be retired maybe almost as long as we were working. I mean, it's not uncommon for people to be in retirement for 30 years nowadays.
Right,
so
exactly.
You put that all together and that gets really scary. I mean, I know my grandparents weren't able to enjoy that, but now,
right.
This many years later, medicine's improved, our life has improved, things are so much better for us, we're going to live longer, plain and simple.
Right, exactly. Yep. And so the bottom line is that people need to just kind of wake up, and a lot of people have been starting to wake up. And I know that there's been like some exposés on like 60 Minutes and 2020 and all that expose the different fees. And there's been forensic audits that have been done on some of these 401k plans, and that show that if it had not been for these fees, that these retirement accounts would be a lot larger when a person retired versus what they are now. And this is what people need to take a look at. And so before you hit, that fragile 10, which is your 5 years before or 5 years after you're ready to retire, there need to be a move that you need to make, because, you need to limit some of those fees coming out of your 401k accounts, because it's not allowing your account to grow like it should grow.
Now, and this like I said, this is a pretty generic example, but it puts everything in a status of being able to say, here's no changes, here's no nothing, numbers, and it's steady. Now, we all know that the numbers are going to change, fees are going to change. I mean, even some of the different brokerage houses nowadays, the more money you got in there, they're going to charge you more.
Absolutely.
Than what you would think. You get in retirement and you pull your money out. Then the big question becomes, gosh, am I going to outlive my money? Well, I have more years to live than I have dollars in my retirement account. That's another scary thing to work with. So you keep your money in a brokerage account, you move it out. But tonight we just wanted to talk about the risk of fees and how crazy it's going to be coming down the road. So, as we've talked about risks over this period of time, again, we've talked about that you need to know what risks are coming your way. Choose a strategy that'll prepare you to meet those risks. And then lastly, don't procrastinate, move forward. take off, get after it, and make something happen. I just really think now is the time to recognize that the fee risk in your 401k, just by this simple example, can truly decimate your retirement savings. And so the question becomes, what strategy are you going to choose to meet this fee risk?
Absolutely.
How are you going to move forward and overcome it? You know, what's the plan? And
Yep.
I think it's really critical that people understand you have choices here. Will you fall in line and continue to follow the herd because everyone else is doing this way or going that way? Are you just going to get in line and move forward with them? Are you going to blaze a trail that works to eliminate your risks or at least minimize them while protecting your retirement savings
Exactly.
that you're growing? I mean, there's a goal out there, right?
Let's go. Absolutely.
I think one of the biggest things is just recognizing for us to be able to, share with people that the risks are there. Wealth Made Easy for You is making a difference for Americans across this land, and we use the infinite banking concept to get them there.
Absolutely.
And we want you to contact us, learn more about it. You got questions? We know you do.
Absolutely.
Give us a text or an email. Let us know. Because we want to be able to help assist you in securing your retirement with the guarantees, with the growth, the safety, the liquidity, and maybe most importantly, having control over your money. That's critical.
Absolutely. So the bottom line, people, is that right now it's urgent, because we don't know what's going to be happening with this market. We see in the highs and lows, we see a lot of crazy things going on as far as the government is concerned. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach you safe methods in which you can, places where you can put your money. You don't have to worry about risk, because that's the reason why we're spending a lot of time on risk, because what we do with your money is we try to make it safe and we explain everything to you. We take our time and we educate you. Now, once again, my name is Carlos Millsap. You can contact me. My email address is cemillsap@gmail.com. This is Brad. You can contact Brad at Brad Stewart USA at yahoo.com. So you have that there. And if you didn't pick that up, what you can do is you can also go to our website, which is www.wealthmadeeasyforyou.com. Go ahead and take a look at the information that we have there. We also have our contact information. We look forward to having the opportunity to do a Zoom call with you to try to explain to you the risk more in depth. And we just want to have a conversation with you. So please go ahead and reach out to us, and we look forward to talking to you soon. I'm Carlos Millsap.
Hey, it's Brad Stewart signing off. Thanks for joining us today. We'll look forward to catching up with you again next week.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye now. Great weekend too.